And joining us now is WGN investigative producer Sam Charles. Sam, good to see you.
Good morning.
Thank you for waking up with us. So talk to us about Lisa Van Allen and her testimony yesterday.
So Lisa Van Allen, one of R. Kelly's former girlfriends, they dated for about 9 years. She said she took the stand yesterday morning and really went over how their relationship sort of developed and eventually how she was involved in, she says, threesomes with R. Kelly and his then 14-year-old goddaughter. Van Allen testified she did not realize at the time that the girl was that young. However, upon learning her actual age, she said about 16, Van Allen then took one of the tapes that contained footage of her, Kelly, and the 14-year-old girl engaging in various sex acts.
So you've been in the trial every day. Cross-examination of Lisa Van Allen should start today. Is that correct, or is it?
Cross-examination began yesterday with Beau Brindley questioning her. Brindley is representing Daryl McDavid, who is one of Kelly's co-defendants. He's his former business manager. Brindley's cross-examination has been quite fiery, as it was when he questioned another witness, Charles Freeman. Charles Freeman is one of the men who claims that he went driving around the country to find and recover these alleged tapes that showed Kelly engaging in sex acts.
Was there a lot of the witnesses never testified in that 2008 trial, or Lisa Van Allen testified differently than she has now? Is that the crux of the cross-examination?
Correct. Brindley has really focused in on alleged inconsistencies between Van Allen's previous sworn statements that she gave in the 2008 trial versus what she said to investigators prior to this trial. The government's star witness in the current case, a woman who's only being identified in court as Jane, she is alleged to be the teen girl who was seen in the video at the center of Kelly's 2008 trial. She testified at length just last week. And also prosecutors in this case have played for the jurors 17 separate video clips that they say show Kelly engaging in sex acts with underage girls.
Describe what that was like. I know that they put up a partition so that you couldn't see those tapes themselves, but you were in the court when they were played. Can you describe what that was like and how disturbing that was?
Sure. I mean, it was a heavy moment, to be sure. Court personnel and Judge Harry Leinenweber put in various measures to ensure that only the jurors, the attorneys, and the judge were able to see the footage. Prosecutors wanted the court to be cleared. There are about 30 spectators viewing court proceedings every single day. And prosecutors wanted everybody out. However, Judge Leinenweber said that everyone could stay in the courtroom. However, like you said, partitions were put up so that no one other than jurors, the judge, and the attorneys could see the footage. However, audio was being piped in throughout the courtroom that everyone could hear. And it was very explicit, very graphic, and quite shocking.
Yeah. Now, in 2008, we remember seeing just huge crowds of supporters of R. Kelly outside the courtroom. Are there still lines of people, you said, supporters of his, waiting to get in every day to these proceedings?
Yeah, so far, yes. The courthouse opens at 7 every day, and usually there are people lining up to get into the courtroom shortly after the courthouse opens. There are only about 30 or so seats for the public that the judge has allowed people to come in and take those seats during the trial. So there is a line forming. There is also an overflow room in the courtroom for people to come and watch. However, you won't be inside, obviously. Phones are not allowed in the courtroom, so no broadcasting, no live tweeting, nothing like that. So, for the reporters covering it, it's a pen and paper, and that's it.
What is R. Kelly like during the testimony? Does he show any emotion? Does he just kind of sit there?
He's had a few moments where he'll shrug or maybe a light chuckle or so. The reporters in the room are actually sitting behind him, so it's tough to kind of see his face. However, he and his attorney, Jennifer Bonjean, are clearly in communication quite often and leaning over and talking to each other at fairly regular points.
Well, Sam, we appreciate you joining us. You'll be at the proceedings again today.
And you're doing daily updates, right? How do people see your work again?
Writing daily updates on the case, WGNTV.com. Search for R. Kelly trial.
All right. Thanks, Sam.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Checking the weather, Paul?